You found a great deal on a cruise vacation. You're so excited to begin planning, and then you start seeing all of these additional costs associated with this bucket list vacation. There are opportunities for upcharges both pre-cruise as well as on board. Stay tuned for the inside scoop on how most cruise lines make more profit from you after you've booked and locked in your cruise. Today on Seymour Seas. As a veteran cruiser, I know all too well how easy it is to spend a lot more money when you are planning your cruise as well as when you're on board. You spend all that time trying to find the best rate for your cruise, and then when you begin the planning, you are hit with sticker shock. In today's video, I'm going to reveal many ways in which cruise lines will grab additional revenue from you while you're planning your cruise as well as when you're on board. Stay tuned because I'm going to also give you some ways to avoid some of these profit centers. Hello everyone and welcome. If you are new here, I am Doug and this is Seymour Seas, your cruise tips and planning channel where I hope to help you and your family pick, plan, and enjoy your next cruise vacation. If you do like the video, as always, do give it that thumbs up. And if you are a cruise enthusiast, I do ask you to consider subscribing if you have not done so already. Remember, when you're ready to book your next cruise, please email me here at the email address shown on the screen, and I would be honored to assist you in planning and booking that cruise. Thanks so much, everybody, and let's get started. Let's all remind ourselves that any vacation, whether it's land-based or a cruise, comes with a lot of extra costs. There's the rental car, there's flights, there's hotels, dining, drinks, all the activities, just all kinds of stuff. It's just part of the planning and traveling for any vacation. Cruises are no different, but the additional costs seem to be more concentrated, kinda in your face. And you want to be smart as to where you spend your money. You want to prioritize these and make sure you're getting the best value for you and your family. What you might not realize about cruising is that most cruise lines will establish revenue targets by department for the cruise. These are things like the bars, the specialty restaurants, the future cruises, the retail shops, and even excursions. The cruise line will create incentives for the crew when they meet or exceed these sales targets. The cruise director is going to be pushing all of the different bingo opportunities, the specialty restaurants, as well as any promotions that are going on in the retail shops. The future cruise staff is also going to earn incentives and commission by meeting their future cruise sales while on board. Some of these targets are daily and voyage-wide, so depending on where they are in meeting those targets, the cruise lines might change their strategy mid-cruise and maybe be a little bit more aggressive, or if it's a more inclusive cruise line, they may back off a little bit and let you enjoy the majority of the rest of your cruise. So now let's get into some of the areas where you can purchase additional items and have additional cost pre-cruise. The first of these is going to be prepaid gratuities. Gratuities is something all cruise lines will provide if it is not included in your standard fare. These are normally added to your onboard spending account on a daily basis while you're on the cruise. I always like to prepay my gratuities beforehand, so I've checked that off my budget and it's out of the way. Please note that the gratuities are the same price whether you prepay them or whether they are charged to your onboard spending account on a daily basis once on board. Drink packages and Wi-Fi packages are also things that are very popular to purchase pre-cruise. There's normally a lot of discounts for these, and I do recommend, if you are interested in these, that you do it pre-cruise and keep looking out for additional discounts, sales, and deals before you sail. The drink packages are normally a basic or classic package, and then you also have premium packages, which allows you to have more of the upscale ale, beers, wines, and spirits. The Wi-Fi packages also come in a basic as well as a premium package. The basic is normally a surfing package where you can do social media and check your email. And then the premium or streaming packages are where you can do video calls as well as to stream movies as well as watch YouTube videos. Excursions is another area that are very popular to purchase pre-cruise, and I recommend, if you are interested in excursions, that you absolutely book these as soon as possible because they do sell out. They also go on sale, so make sure that you are keeping track of the prices because you can always rebook at the lower price. Another tip is to budget for these excursions because some ports, say in Alaska, can be extremely expensive but also extremely popular. So book early to make sure that you snag the one that you want. Many people also don't realize that you can also buy gifts or packages for yourself and your traveling party pre-cruise. These are different gifts such as decorations for a special occasion for your stateroom, have a bottle of wine delivered to your stateroom, or even have a bar set up or even some chocolate covered strawberries on a special day. Specialty dining is a great add to a cruise, and I always like to add at least 1 or 2 specialty dining venues pre-cruise so that I get the date and time that I want for that particular venue. There are dining packages available, say for 3, 4, or 5 specialty dining venues throughout your cruise, but do keep in mind that most of these dining packages, you cannot pick the day and time until you board the cruise on day 1. I like to purchase these individually so that I can pick the day and time that I want. There are lots of other activities on board, such as wine tasting or alcohol tastings, or a wine and cheese pairing, or a food and wine pairing. Lots of these are available, and I also recommend that you pre-book these pre-cruise. Again, many times these go on sale or there are discounts available for different loyalty package levels on most cruise lines. There are also ship tours, which are excursions on board the ship. These are very popular and they also sell out very quickly. These will be things like a behind the scenes tour, whether you get to see only the crew areas or the engine room, control room, and sometimes even the bridge. Others include cooking classes as well as maybe a galley tour where you'll get to see where all of the magic happens early in the morning throughout a late night. And one of the last pre-cruise things that you will want to consider purchasing will be travel insurance. I never cruise without travel insurance. This is not as much for the cancellation component of the travel insurance as it is the medical. With travel insurance, you also want to keep in mind that there are cancellation reasons that are covered by insurance, and there are cancel for any reason provisions. Make sure you look closely at what is covered and what is not. One way to save on these pre-cruise purchases is to go with one of the cruise lines all-inclusive or semi-inclusive options. Many of these packages are available, such as Celebrity has all-included. Holland America, it's called Have It All. Princess has Princess Plus plus Princess Premier. And then Norwegian has the More at Sea, an updated version of Free at Sea. Know that all of the gratuities for these programs are normally included in these packages, and they can include things such as the drink package combined with Wi-Fi. Normally, those are the entry-level packages. Also, other times you're going to have a specialty dining credit, maybe an excursion credit per port, and also sometimes gratuities are included. One thing to note is that Celebrities package never includes the gratuities. They're always going to be extra. Now let's talk about that spending that you do on board. Now, when you go through your online check-in, you will put down a credit card that will create your onboard spending account. When you buy things on board through the use of your key card that charges that onboard spending account and the credit card that you used to set that up. Also, if you order room service and there is a delivery fee, that's going to be charged to that onboard spending account as well. It's normally anywhere from $5.95 to $9.95, depending on the package that you have and the promotions that you saw when you booked your cruise. The main dining room is complimentary, but know that when you make some upgrades in the main dining room, this is going to be an extra charge as well. These might be things like the upgraded steak, having a lobster with your steak, or on many cruise lines now, you can get 2 entrees, but when you order that third, they're going to charge you an additional fee for that. When you do shopping on board, if you're going to buy any jewelry, if you're going to go to the souvenir or brand store, that's where you're normally going to find all of the sundries. So additional suntan lotion, some Advil, ibuprofen, whatever it might be that they're going to have there on board, all that's going to be charged to your onboard spending account. If you participate in the art auctions, again, if you do bid or you purchase art on board, that's also another place where you can add additional costs associated with your cruise. I, for instance, never really got into buying art on a cruise ship. It seems to be quite expensive, and the shipping back home, I just never trusted. So unless you're there for just the free champagne that they serve, I'm not sure that that's a good value either. What do you all think? Do you purchase art while on board and attend these art auctions? Help me understand the value here. If you don't have a drink package, all of the drinks that you buy on board will be paid a la carte, and they will also add an 18% gratuity on that for each drink purchased. This includes bottled water as well as specialty coffees. So if you are interested in that, you might want to look at one of the pre-cruise drink packages. If you do not have a spa package, then all of those massages or spa treatments will be extra. A lot of times, fitness classes will also charge an additional fee for maybe a spin class or a Zumba class or something like that. And then a big one that adds up very quickly are photos. So I've never actually received a photo package. So we normally, when photos were being taken on board, we'll take a few and stand in front of a few of the screens so we can put new 8x10s in those frames that we have all over the house. But these can add up quickly. So try to limit to 1 or 2 of the best photos, and I think you'll be happy with that. Another big area where you can spend additional money on board are things like activities on board. You have NCL's go-kart at the top of the ship. You have Carnival's roller coaster, Royal Caribbean's skydiving with the iFly, and North Star on the Quantum class ships. On MSC, you have the Formula One race car simulator as well as bowling there in that area as well. Then on almost all major cruise lines, you're going to have the casino. All of those slot machines, table games, and poker tournaments, that's going to cost you additional money. And then don't forget the bingo cards. Most cruise lines also have bingo throughout the day, and also most of them now have deal or no deal as well. And the last area we're going to talk about are the private islands. Each of the cruise lines that are going out of Fort Lauderdale, Miami, or even Port Canaveral will normally stop at one of their private islands. These are islands such as Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day at Coco Cay, MSC's Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. You also have Holland America's and Carnival's Half Moon Cay. There's many others. Princess has them, Norwegian has them. And one of the things that you want to look out for the additional charges on those islands will be things like the exclusive areas. Royal Caribbean has the Cocoa Beach Club. It's very expensive. There's also the Thrill Water Park, which is also an exclusive area, along with Hideaway Beach, which is an adults only area. Each of these areas contain a surcharge per person for entry. All over the private islands, there are also going to be various levels of cabanas for rent for the day. There's going to be beachside cabanas, there's going to be inland cabanas, there's going to be cabanas in those exclusive areas that you can also rent. Some of them are even over the water. Included in that are also day beds. They're not quite cabanas, but it does provide a little bit of extra shade, normally a couple lounge chairs, as well as some umbrellas and probably some bottled water in a cooler. There are upgraded food areas. Most all private islands do offer complimentary food shacks or a buffet, but there are also some small seafood restaurants or places to get maybe an upgraded sandwich like a lobster roll. Snorkel gear is also normally available for rent for the day from the sports hut, and then you're also going to have all those different types of excursions there as well, such as the parasailing, the wave runners, also sailboats, for instance, at Half Moon Cay. On MSC's private island, the actual umbrellas and beach mats are all an additional charge. There are a few umbrellas right there at the Lighthouse Beach, but you have to get there very early. But most often, you're going to walk by the umbrella stand as well as the float mat area and purchase those prior to going to the beach on the other side of the island. You can avoid a lot of these additional charges on the private islands by just enjoying the complimentary beach day that these private islands offer. There's always a beautiful spot on the beach. You can also, if you've got the kids and you want to do a little snorkeling, bring your own snorkel gear with you. A lot of people do it, and it is a savings. Also, the private islands, other than Carnival and Holland America for Half Moon Cay, your drink package and Wi-Fi package normally extend to the island. Carnival, for some reason, does not allow that, so all of the drinks that you'll be purchasing on Half Moon Cay are going to be an additional charge. Also, most of the food on the island is complimentary, so just participate in the main buffet or visit one of the snack shops around the island. Those are also normally complimentary. Now let's take a look at these different cruise lines and identify which cruise lines are going to be the most aggressive at these upcharges. You're going to find most of the mass market resort style cruises are going to be the most aggressive. These are cruise lines such as Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, and MSC. The ones that are going to be moderately aggressive, depending on their sales strategies, are going to be the premium segment, which is going to be Princess, Holland America, Celebrity, Cunard, and even Virgin Voyages. Virgin Voyages is going to be the least of those due to the fact that they're more inclusive in their base rate than the other premium cruise lines. The least aggressive, obviously, are going to be the luxury cruise lines because most of all of these items are included. The luxury cruise lines are more inclusive in their base fare. These are cruise lines like Regent Seven Seas, Silver Sea, Seabourn, Viking, and many others. That's a lot of different upcharges in a lot of different areas, so I'm not trying to scare you away from taking a cruise. I just want you to know what to expect when you get there. So there are some things that you can do to avoid some of these upcharges. For one, most cruise lines normally allow you to bring a couple bottles of wine, normally 2 bottles of wine or champagne, per each adult in the stateroom. You can also normally bring about a 12-pack of soda or bottled water with you, which will save if you do not have one of those drink packages. When you're looking at your itinerary, take a look at the different ports. Are these ports where you can self-explore so you don't have to purchase an excursion? Some of the best times that I've had on cruising is going to a new port and just exploring the downtown area if the ship is close by. Also, when looking at those excursions, consider doing third-party excursions through reputable dealers such as Cruise Excursions Group, Viator, TripAdvisor, and Tours by Locals, all of which are less expensive than you will find from the cruise line. With the excellent cameras that we all have on our phones these days, take your own photos and you can have a lot of great memories without paying extra for a photo on board. Also, if you are not in need of being connected while traveling, another thing to do is to utilize the free Wi-Fi in the ports. Make sure that you do have a VPN for accessing those public networks, as well as a trick is to follow the crew. The crew always know the best cafes and coffee shops to get the free Wi-Fi. The main dining room is an excellent place for a fantastic dinner with you and your family. You don't always have to go to the specialty restaurants, and you don't normally have to pay extra for the upgraded items from the main dining room menu. And then if budget is getting to be an issue, consider going with an inside or ocean view stateroom other than a balcony. Spend that budget dollar in other areas that will provide you a lot more return on your investment. Many of these items do add to your overall cruise experience, so set a pre-cruise budget for what you're going to spend totally, and then make sure that you pick those items that are going to provide you with the best value as well as the most enjoyment for you and your family. You'll want to make sure that you are checking your onboard spending account daily. You can do this through the Cruise Line app as well as normally through the stateroom television. I hope you stay within budget and make sure that you are smart about the choices that you're making. Thanks everybody so much for watching today. If you did like this video, please do give it that thumbs up. And if you are a cruise enthusiast, I do ask you to consider subscribing to this channel for additional cruise content just like this. It really does help me out. Also, when you're looking to book your next cruise, please remember to email me here at the email address shown on the screen, and I would be honored to help you plan and book your next cruise. Thanks everybody for watching, and you might be interested in watching one of these videos next. Thanks again, and as always, I'll see you again soon.